just say over the course of my career, I made it a point to watch thousands of videos, security cam videos or closed circuit videos that involve some type of violent crime. Let's just say that was in the thousands or in the tens of thousands, and I watched those. And I already had my own cognitive bias about why I thought the videos that I watched were going to be important and why I was going to use them to tell a specific story or make a point. But then if I were to sit back and look at the data, I would look at how many violent crimes are there in the United States every year, meaning a violent crime is defined as some type of an aggravated assault where someone has a high probability of experiencing substantial bodily harm, great bodily harm, death, or forcible rape, or kidnapping, or something like that. The statistics show there's an average in the United States of about 6 million, 5.8 million to 6 million reported violent crimes in the United States annually. So then I would have to realize my sin, no matter how significant I think that is for me to have watched that many videos. One, what is my already existing bias? And two, what is that sample size really telling me? Three, where are those, I would ask myself, where are my videos coming from? Are they coming from the United States? Are they coming from another country? So are the videos that I'm watching an accurate representation of the patterns of violence where I live or to my audience? There are lots of variables. And if I take a look at the numbers, well, if there's 5.8 million violent crimes in the United States every year, that sample size is going to be extremely small. That means that next year, that number is going to be twice as big, and the year after that, there's no possible way that I can keep up. And then I would have to ask myself the question, how many of those violent crimes are actually caught on video? So just because they happen to be caught on video, that doesn't mean that it's an accurate representation of how violent crime actually works. And in addition to that, and I know this as a certified force science analyst to the Force Science Institute, I know how inaccurate videos can be. Videos, everyone says videos don't lie. The fuck they don't lie. One, what's the context that they're shown in? What's the frame? What type of lens is used? What's happening right outside of that frame? What happened before the fact? What happened after the fact? What's the totality of the circumstance? What's the contrast? What's the angle in which that was taking place at? Just because that's what the camera sees, that doesn't mean that's what the people who were caught in that violent encounter see. With their tunnel vision, their auditory exclusion, the rated speed and pressure at which things are happening, the information that was known to them at the time isn't known to the people who are watching the video after the fact, in terms of how it's framed up and what biases are formed as they watch the video. So to say that the video tells the whole story is absolutely not true, and that's been very well established. And if you don't believe me, contact the Force Science Institute, and they will give you a detailed analysis on how videos don't tell the whole story at all. They're a part of the story, and they can be a very important part of the story, but they can be extremely misleading in terms of what the totality of the circumstance of that violent encounter is. So I think if we're going to be intellectually honest about how we're evaluating videos, we need to take in the totality of that circumstance as opposed to painting those videos with our own bias. And I'm not here to say that valuable lessons can't come from those, because they certainly can. Valuable lessons can most certainly come out of watching videos like that. I do it for that very reason. But I'm careful to give blanket analysis or blanket statements based on whatever videos that I'm watching. that's just one set of circumstances when I know that the variables are not going to be repeatable. So I think we need to be more intellectually honest about what our analysis is of videos and what that means, and especially when we start to draw our own statistical conclusions. Are we using rigorous statistical analysis and meta-analysis of the totality of the data, or just of the data that we've seen that fits our own cognitive bias?